Hi guys, welcome to another video where I thought we'd have a bit of a discussion about the Final Fantasy VII announcement. I know I'm a few months too late, but I've not been coming back to YouTube for long, so yeah, I mean, I did the Shenmue 3 one, maybe I should have covered both at the time, but, you know, Final Fantasy VII, it's something special, it's something extra, it's still more about in my brain, has been for a couple of months now, but, I mean, back in the day, I got Sega Saturn when I was younger. I mean, I saved up. I'd left school. I think it was about '96, secondary school that is. To you Americans over there, we leave at 16 and then we can go on to college. But I was in between and went to a job because I had a year off. And I saved up for months. I was dead excited, and I had the choice between a Saturn and a PlayStation. And well, you can probably guess what I went with. I mean, after a Mega Drive, Game Gear, Master System all the time, I thought, well, it's Sega. It's going to be an amazing system, so that's what I went for. But, yeah, I mean, the PlayStation ended up being the place to be, and I never got one at the time, and it was so expensive at the time, 300 quid. I wasn't earning much money, it was a big struggle. I could get the odd game every few months, and, at least once or twice. One game every month or so, and I can remember getting things like Tomb Raider on the Saturn. At the time I always argued, it's better than the PlayStation version. I don't think it was better on, but then things like Virtua Cop, the Die Hard trilogy, because I got, compared to the PlayStation version. But I had this guy I was working with, and went to a works do, and then I stayed over at his for the night because he had a spare room, and as I was over there, he had like a DVD room. Sorry, no, there was no DVD. It was a VHS room. God, that's how long it was. VHS room, wall to wall with DVD cases. Things like Star Trek, Aliens, all sorts of movies, everything you could think of. And in one corner, he had like there's like a shrine for his gaming. And he had a PlayStation set up there. And a little game sat on top called Final Fantasy VII. And I sat down with it. And I was only there for one night, and I must have played it for about probably going on 2.5 hours. I never left Midgar at the beginning. I was exploring it and just loved it to bits, and it just blew me away. But I could not afford to get it. I just would have struggled, and I just left it for a bit and left it for ages. And I think about maybe a month passed by, and then I was talking to somebody, an old friend of mine now, and he basically says, well, I never played the Saturn, do you want to do a swap for a bit? You can have mine for a month or two, PlayStation for a month or two, and I'll take your Saturn. And I was like, yes please. And I gave him Resident Evil, Tomb Raider I still had, and this old RPG, action RPG, a bit like Zelda, can't remember the name of it. But I thought, what an amazing opportunity this will be. And then I just started playing it, and I must have sunk in that month probably about 100 hours into it. I mean, it was the first big RPG like that I'd ever done, and it just blew me away. And then I can remember stuff like playing like with all the cutscenes, and there's a point when you leave Midgar and you go on a bit with Cloud and the team, and you stop in this hotel overnight, and you just start talking about Sephiroth and his history and the story about it. And it was about midnight when that started, and there was one save point out on the world map before you went in, but I had no idea this was going to happen. So I started playing, I walked in and started watching it, and 5 minutes went, 10 minutes, I keep looking at the clock, and it was just awesome, and I was, on tenterhooks, and it went on for like a good half an hour, about 11:30 at night, and I almost carried on, but I could just remember something like that, and then night after night I'd be staying up till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning playing Final Fantasy VII, and then on the last week when he got it back, I was just caning it. I maxed out. This is how crazy I was. I maxed out every single character at that point that I was playing with. And after that, I've got to get a PlayStation. And a few months passed, scrabbled some money together, sold the Saturn. Didn't get much for it, I don't think. That was what the biggest problem was. And off that went, and then, I got my own. And then bought Final Fantasy VII, plugged it in at home, and then realised I needed a memory card. No, stupid thing, but it just blew me away, and I played it to death. I maxed out all the characters on it, even went as far as what's called Yuffie, the ninja, little girl and stuff, Vincent, all of them I did. And then a little while later, it might have been a year or two, it came out on the PC. And at the time, I'd just bought a new graphics card. It might have been a Voodoo FX. I can't remember, because it would have been 98, 99, I think. I'm pretty sure in 98. I got this amazing gaming graphics card, and, well, you know, for the time. And Final Fantasy VII was out, and they'd redone all the 3D graphics, and all the characters were now 3D, but on the old 2D background. So they'd rejigged it somehow. And I mean, I got it again, played it to death, maxed out every single character, did all the ultimate weapons and stuff, you know, got absolutely addicted to it, and it just blew me away. For the time, it was the most amazing game I'd ever played, and I don't know what it was. I mean, I played every single Final Fantasy game after that, and none of them had that hook on me. They were all right. I mean, 8 I didn't like. Sorry, I did try. I mean, I loved 7 to death. I thought 8's going to be mine, but I just didn't like. The thing is, I didn't like the characters, and the battle system was okay. I didn't think it was as good as 7, but it had its plus points until you learned how to cheat your way past it. But, you know, it just didn't appeal. And I thought the end of the story, and I completed it, but the end of the story was just bobbins. It was terrible. And then I played 9, because everyone was getting excited at the time. It was just like the older Final Fantasy games, which I had no experience with at this point. I've since rectified that, obviously, but, you know, at the time I thought, I'll give it a go. And I just blew through it all, because I still had this ingrained attitude of, well, max everything out, you know, spend ages in one area and get max levels and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, by the time I hit the final boss, I was hitting like 9,999 hit points pretty much straight. I mean, they just didn't stand the chance. And at least in Final Fantasy VII, there was something else to do when you were at that sort of a level and that high, so it just didn't appeal. But yeah, 11 was the online one. 12, I tried it, didn't like it. So I missed 10 out of there, didn't I? Yeah, 10 was... It was alright as a game. I didn't like how they dropped all the world map stuff and broke off into sections. It was a bit weird at the time. I mean, they did it later on with 13, but 10 has its lovers. I'm not really one of it. I'm skirting on the hater's edge. I just didn't get on with it. It just wasn't my sort of game, but it was alright. The voices were terrible. It was the first time with all the speaky stuff in it. They were just awful actors. It was as simple as that. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent about the series now. So yeah, I've been involved all across the years. I've played pretty much every game. Didn't like the last one. Sort of looking forward to the new one, because I think they've improved it a lot by all the footage and stuff I've been seeing. But anyway, going back to 7, I mean, when I was sat there, it's like Shenmue 3, and I heard that announcement, and it just blew me, and I was just like, oh my god, this is what I've been waiting for all this time. I remember getting so excited about the re-release for the PlayStation Store, you know, on the Vita and that. And I mean, over the years, I've had loads of handhelds and emulated consoles and stuff, and I always stick Final Fantasy VII on, because it's my go-to side Scrabble RPG. If I'm a bit bored, I want something to focus on in my spare time. I always have a lot of fun with it, but to hear, I've wanted it for so long, and to hear this news, and it was just like, you know, my god, what's going on? What is going on with this E3? Sony's just blowing Microsoft out of the water. And it's just an incredible announcement. But after the excitement had died down, and you start to think a bit about it for a bit, and Square Enix today is not Square Enix from, well, I was going to say about 15, 20 years ago, but even 7 or 8 years ago, you know, they've changed a lot as a company. They've got, I don't know if very lazy is the right term, but most of the late games, you've had the odd hit. I think the Bravely Default, which was a 3DS game, was quite good, and I think some of the Dragon Quest, whatever you call them, games, you know, again, it's always on the portable side have been alright. So I don't know. I mean, by all accounts, seem to be redoing the game completely. So they'll rejig the story slightly. It's not going to be in the old style. So God knows what they're going to do with the materia and the control and all the rest of it. And it'll be fully voiced. And I just don't know. I'm really excited about it, but I'm worried at the same time. What are they going to do with this game? It's going to be an interesting couple of years to see how it comes out. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think they're still capable of making something like Final Fantasy? I mean, Final Fantasy 7, sorry. I mean, back in the day, the main guy behind it was always going to, his mother had died, and it was that sort of self-inner-looking depression, and how his life would go. He's 20 years old now, and things have changed, and he's I suppose over the death of his mother, but his focus just isn't going to be like it was at the time. So things will change, and there's more people involved with this one than there was at the time. I don't know. Should they just stick to how it used to be and just update it graphically, but stick to the similar controls? I mean, I do hope they don't go down the route of 13. I know a lot of people are fans of that, but it was okay. You've got to be into it. It just did not appeal to me at all. I prefer the older style, but again, it's older, so they've got to appeal to a new audience, and it's going to be costing them an absolute fortune to do this. But yeah, by all means, guys, comment below. Let me know what you think. I mean, I was impressed by the announcement, but I don't know if I'm going to be impressed with what they eventually come out with. Yeah. Anyway, as always, guys, thanks for listening. Please look forward to another video soon. And if you would do me a favour, I don't usually ask for this, but it seems to be the way everything's going. It's rate, comment, and describe. Get involved in the discussions down below. It can't just be me all the time. There's a lot of people look at this channel, so please, by all means, talk away. Thanks, guys.